With Twisted Mesquite Performance Horses. We're on a mission to create a world-class 2-year-old program that specializes in the Reining cow horse. This week we're doing a review with Whiz. This is her 9th week in our program. We had a cold snap come in. We had a bunch of rain this week, so it's definitely been there's certainly been a lot of situations to train through, just the opportunities to help these horses and to train these horses on the cold days, on the wet days, so we've been able to put them through a lot of situations that will end up helping them in the long run. So these, so far this week, we've been reviewing a lot of our bending at the walk, our transitions down to a walk, getting this horse between my legs a little bit more. I kind of want to make sure that this horse, I'm wanting to make sure that this horse is following her nose, is she's going in the direction of the circle, so she's getting off of my outside leg if she starts pushing out. And then also when I pick up on this inside rein and put my feet on her, I want her to touch my leg or touch my toe. And I want this to be off the pressure off of my leg rather than off of my hand. I want to be able to pick up really lightly, very lightly, and her touch my leg or touch my toe. And that's just getting that softness in that rib cage, getting that softness through her body, helping, especially on these hot horses, it helps them wind themselves down. But it's just helping these horses get broke. I want all of my horses to be able to get soft, to be soft off my hands, to where, and some of that head banging and such she's doing, she's just kind of overreacting to it a little bit. And the more we go, the better she'll get. Just more confident. She'll bring her head around. She'll bend her rib cage without so much fuss about it. But she is a very sensitive type horse, so it doesn't take much pressure at all to get her thinking about what you're wanting her to do. And so we're helping her, we're using that to our advantage, where we can ask her very lightly, and which we want to do on all of our horses, but with her specifically, we want to ask her very lightly and give her a chance to give us the right answer off of a light amount of pressure, and then let her know that what she's doing is good. Give her time to think about it, give her time to relax. So again, I just want to put my inside leg on her until she brings that nose all the way around. I'm picking up lightly on my rein here, but I want her to bring her nose around just off of the pressure of my leg. So another thing we've been working on this week is another steering and loping exercise, building on what we worked on last week, where we made sure that she's good with all the corners. She's loping around, but she's not trying to run off, and she's thinking about us a little bit she's thinking about us to where she'll steer around. She'll still steer around this pattern. So we'll get her into a lope, and see right here, she's kind of high-headed, but she has a pretty relaxed lope about her. she's kind of jumping around a little bit, but she can use that extra energy all she wants, because we'll stay in this pattern until she relaxes. And so if she goes and cuts the corner out, I'm going to take her back into that corner just like I did last week. But with the difference of this one, we kind of have this pattern in a square, in kind of like one of those punnet squares. And so when I get down here, I want to take her around this corner. I want her to go deep in this corner. Then I want her to, now we'll come around here, and we'll keep kind of traveling this corner, this pattern. If she goes and leans in another direction, then I'll take her and take her that opposite direction. And it's just getting to where I want her rated down. I want her to be thinking about me riding her, thinking about where I'm gonna steer her for, get her kind of waiting on me. Because I want her, especially at this lope here, I don't want her running off or getting worried or getting to where she blocks me out. I want her to wait on me for that direction, to go in this straight line, stay at that lope until I give her a direction of where to go. So she's kind of jumping around here. I'll take her into this corner, and then we'll lope back off. See, that time was better. And so I want to do this exercise in both directions. Ideally, both leads, but it's not necessarily. I'm not going to ask her to catch that other lead. Some of these horses, they'll catch that lead themselves, just knowing that that's the direction they're needing to go, and they'll catch that lead. But I want to go in each direction. I want them to see all these different angles, all the different corners of this arena. I like that she's steering real lightly, where it's not taking much to steer in that direction. She's not breaking down to a trot. When I ask her to change directions, she's staying in that lope. She's comfortable in these corners. That's been built upon from our exercises before and getting to this point. And so we're just reinforcing that. Like I said, if she cuts a corner or gets real deep or doesn't want to get in a corner, we're gonna do just like that. Or we'll take her back into that corner. I don't want them avoiding these corners or avoiding parts of this arena. I want them to be comfortable here. And so, that arena, that corner there, I'll probably either one of these two corners I'll keep in mind, and when I get ready to rest her at the end of this, I'll take her to one of those corners and let her rest. Where I want this horse to rest, where she's been avoiding, or where she hadn't wanted to be. You know, same thing if we're doing this groundwork and they're kind of wanting to stay away from us because we've been driving them, we've been lunging them, or we've been backing them, or doing different things, then I'll let them rest where I'm at. And so it's just letting them work and rest, work where they don't want to be, and rest where they'd rather not be. And that way we can kind of play with their mind and get them to start thinking about some different things, and start thinking about, well, maybe I should just see what he's wanting rather than trying to predict it or run around or avoid this area or run off from this area. So I just want to rest her in the middle of this pattern. Let her rest here. You know, I stopped her with 2 reins, and I waited for her to get soft in my hands. I want to make sure that she'll get off of my hand when I pick up. I don't have my legs on her right now. Later on, I'll put my legs back on them. But right now, I've kind of made the trying to make it simple for them, where right now if I put my legs on them and lean back, I want them to back up. And so once they get more confident about it, I can put my legs on them and bring their head to me, kind of squeeze them forward. But right now, just trying to make it simple and keep it simple. So if with her, she's kind of gotten confused a little bit about when to get soft, when to get back, when to come back. And so I've kind of had to keep it a little simpler for her a little bit. You know, with Cairo and Cinco, they'll, as soon as I pick up on the reins, they're already getting soft, and then I can add the backup, and then they're coming back. With her, I needed to just make sure that to reinforce when I pick up on these reins, she gives soft. See, there's still a little bit of a hesitation when I pick up. She's still thinking about not giving to it, or just a delay there, a little bit of a delay. So I just want to keep working on this and giving that release back to her. So like I said before, now that I let her rest a second, I want her to, she did end up picking up that correct lead. But I want to take her around this direction as well. Like I said, I like how light she's steering. She's very, very sensitive horse. Takes just a light pressure. She doesn't take much in order to send her in the direction you're wanting her to go. She's avoiding this corner, so I took her into it. I'm gonna sit in this, go in this direction. She's kind of getting to where she's not loping around here as well. And so I'm gonna ride her around here, work this pattern for a little while until she relaxes down, she calms down. She's kind of wandering around all over the place. I need her to relax. You know, I've noticed there's some people that get mad at these colts. They can't handle their own emotions. So when a horse is maybe being erratic or being maybe something that you don't think they should be, I mean, whatever opinion you have, to say this horse, you know, well, this horse should lope around here quieter. Well, you know, I know some guys that they just get mad at this horse. And really, it's an ego deal where, well, that horse should know better. Or that horse has been in my program for so long and he should be better than that than at this point. And instead of say, well, let's just help this horse work through it today. And let's just help him think and process. Help this horse where he's at today. You know, we can take every day, be a little better every day. We can think about it and how do we want to better our program? How can we do a better job at communicating with our customers and our horses? And some things is just keep doing what you're doing and be patient and not get mad or upset that it's not going quicker than it is, or you think it should be better, or and I'm just using that as an example. I was thinking about, you know, I've had some horses, I've been training with some folks, and you know, this horse was kind of hot, kind of reactive, and this trainer didn't have a whole lot of patience, and so just got into all sorts of fights with that horse because the trainer didn't have any patience. And you know, the trainer said, well, this horse should be better than this, or this horse should have this figured out by now. And you know, sometimes that's just not the case. Sometimes it takes a little longer. Maybe we need to do something a little different. You get in fights and you get mad, and horses don't like that. People don't like that. We have to be able to control our emotions. We have to be able to control our emotions when we're working with these horses or we're working with people. We need to be compassionate and patient. You know, give direction and take direction, but in order to really be successful with people and horses, I truly believe we've got to be patient, and we have to be able to work with people and not allow our emotions to dictate our actions. You know, make a plan, create a plan, and follow through with that plan, and think logically about the situation. And well, maybe there is something I can do that's going to help this horse, or maybe there's something I can do that makes this situation better. But if we just blindly react or allow our emotions to get in our way, you know, you're just going to drive people away. You're going to cause horses to act even more erratically, because You know, they're scared of you. They don't know, they can't trust you. You know, if you go and just go up and, you know, you're asking this horse to do something and you're asking in a consistent manner, and then all of a sudden you just get mad at this horse and you just go off on this horse. Well, that horse isn't going to trust you. He said because all of a sudden, you know, that you've been interacting with this horse in such a way, and then you change, and then you're erratic, and your emotions are cause you to get mad at this horse, or to change what you're asking him to do, or start jerking on him or whatever, and that horse can't trust you. And it's the same thing with people. It said, I know of some people that, and just growing up, and people would get mad and pissed off and just act erratic, and you just don't want to be around them. You just don't want anything to do with them because you can't trust them. And it's the same with these horses. The horses feel the same way. You know, we've had horses with people like that, and those horses would act completely different when we brought them home. You know, they just were in a situation, in an environment where they couldn't trust what was going on. And so it's just you know, we work to be as consistent as possible with these horses, to help these horses understand. Like with her, you know, I was really impressed with how, you know, I get on her and she's wanting to get soft right here. She's wanting to bend around my leg. You know, that's been something we've been working on. She's kind of had a little trouble with it, maybe you could say. But like today, I got on her and she was already thinking about it. She's already thinking about getting soft. She's already thinking about me being on her, and so, you know, you just stay on the path, and you stay consistent. You know, my wife and I were talking about this this morning, but, you know, the election is over. We found out that Trump is the next president, and, you know, I told her, I said, well, in either way, I mean, to us, you know, that's exciting news, and we won't go into that, but more so it's if we are waiting or not moving forward, or we're not being consistent, we're not doing our jobs, you know, things aren't going to happen and things aren't going to progress. You know, say with these horses, just like I was talking about, okay, well, I want to be consistent. I want to help these horses through. So I'm being consistent, and I'm asking this horse in a consistent manner repeatedly, and maybe it takes that horse some time. Maybe it takes that horse getting over some anxiety, or, you know, learning. Maybe that horse has to mature a little bit in order to handle his emotions, and it takes some time for that horse to start thinking about what we're asking him, and to start really trying, and we start seeing a result. But if we weren't putting in that consistent effort and that consistency over and over and over again, we wouldn't ever see the result. And so, you know, it's about putting consistent action into what you're wanting to do, what you're wanting to achieve. Like with these horses here, we're wanting to produce a soft, quiet, responsive horse that has the foundation to go and excel in the reined cow horse. And so, you know, everything we're doing, we're wanting to be as consistent as possible between the care, the communication, and the training. We want it to all be consistent, because we realize that in order to have the best result, we need to be consistent. And so, you know, we're just, I guess, to bring it home, you know, the consistency is going to bring you the results that you're looking for. Consistently asking in a manner that you know is a positive, is a good manner, you know, has been proven to work. You know, you start that direction, and you ask in a consistent manner, and you will get the results you're looking for. Maybe you got to be a little better. Maybe you need to get those horses a little better. Maybe your skills need to be a little better. Maybe you need to be a bit more consistent. But if you continue on with it, you will create and produce the thing that you're looking for. So this horse is, we've gone to kind of let her cool down a little bit. So we'll continue working on that loping exercise this week, like I said. So I'm wanting her to start to rate back, to guide around here really well and comfortable all the way around. So I've been wanting to, continue to, when I stop, I want her to get soft to me. I want to be able to stop her feet and her get soft. And so I want to review that stop a little bit before I go and work on our backup. So like I said, I want her thinking about giving that head when she stops. I want her to think about getting soft when she stops her feet. Because she had been, there's still that hesitation there. There doesn't need to be any hesitation. When I pick up on those reins and I stop those feet, when I take my feet off, I need her to stop her feet and get soft. I don't want any hesitation there. And like I said, we'll continue. There's still some hesitation right there, but we reward her when she does it. Next week we'll start working on some vertical flexion at the walk. I thought, I considered it for this week, but I said, well, I want to make sure that these horses are a little better. They understand. They're a little more clear when I'm asking them to stop, when I'm asking them to back up. I want to get that a little better with all of these horses before I start asking them to vertically collect. So we'll start vertically collecting them at the walk. So it's just like I'm asking them at a standstill, but it'll be at the walk. And so I'll drive them up into their face a little bit, and so they'll drive up off of my hands. They'll drive up off of my feet. I mean, she thought I was asking her to back up. She's a very smart horse, very sensitive horse, and it's just us helping her get into that thinking side of her brain to where she'll think and respond to what we're asking her to do, rather than just blindly reacting to it. So I just put my feet on her, get a few consistent steps. I like that she's giving to my hands right here. She's getting soft to my hands, and I can add my feet. There. See, I want some collection there. Just getting soft to my hands. Want her soft in my hands, and I want some cadence in her feet, some consistency in that step. See right here, it's not. She's getting bogged down. Her step's a little better. It's not soft. We'll just stay right here with her. There, that was better. So she is soft in my hands, and she is coming backwards. So we'll work on it again. She just gets a little panicked and thinks she has to raise that head up and get concerned. But we just have to reassure her when she does the right thing, when when we do what we're asking her to do. There. So we'll kind of review a little bit. This is our stop. We want it to look just like that. We want to be able to pick up those reins and get some consistent soft steps backwards. So pretty much, unless I'm wanting to make sure that she gives to me a little bit independently, from here on, so with her, I want to make sure that she's stopping and she's giving to me right here. So like I said, there's still a little bit of hesitation. I want to make sure that she's giving to me as soon as I stop her. And so as soon as I get that really good, get that better, then every time I stop from there, I'm gonna make sure that we get some steps backwards, because I want to make sure that one part is really good. I want to make sure that when I pick up, she gets soft in my hands. I want her face and her head to get soft in my hands. Because I've tried to do it before on some other horses to where they weren't very good with that. And, there's still some that I'm working through with that. But they weren't very good. And it was that those horses have been pulled on pretty hard just in some other lifetimes. And so I would try to add the back up and wait till they, we got back and they got soft in my hands. But every time I would pick up on those reins, they would still resist. They would still have that hesitation and lean on that bit when I stopped them. And so I want to make sure when I stop her, she gets soft every time before I start adding that back up in there a bunch. Because I just want to, we want to advance these horses for sure, but there are times where maybe this horse needs a little bit more of this in order to make sure that horse understands. And maybe these other ones advance, go through a little quicker, but then, every horse is going to have something that they're not as good about. And so, whenever we come across a spot like that, we want to make sure that we spend the time that is adequate in order to make sure that that's good. That spot is good, and we get over that spot, because, they call them holes. The horse has holes in his training. Well, it's a spot that somebody rushed through and they tried to cover up. They tried to, it's just like if you were running, you were working on a house and you had drywall up on all in your house, but you had holes in that drywall, and you didn't go back. You didn't spend the time to adequately fill those holes with putty, and then you have a guy come in there and finish it, and then he maybe go back and finish it again, and they may work on that thing 3 different times before they get it back, get that wall to where it's ready to prime and paint. But if it's just like in these. So the example would be in covering up a hole. Well, I'll just go and put some tape over that hole, and then I'll paint it. Well, but that hole's always going to be there. That hole is always going to be there, no matter how much paint you put on it. And it's always eventually gonna come back up, and it's eventually gonna be apparent that there is a hole there. And so we want to make sure that we spend time to make sure that these horses understand what we're wanting them to do before we move on to the next step. So I think that's a good review. Good review with Whiz. Kind of an overview of what we're working on this week. We'll continue to work on, progress these things, the things we've talked about. Right here, she's just walking off without me asking her, so I brought her back. It's just that mind of hers is running all the time, and she's thinking about going somewhere. So we'll just reverse and, get her thinking about the opposite. Bring her back to me. There, that was good. So I said that's a good review with Whiz. I'm pleased with how she's advancing. We're certainly making progress. She's getting a better backup on her. Stop's getting better. She's certainly steering around a lot better. She's getting a very good handle on her. She's progressing very well, and so we're pleased with how she's been coming along. We'll continue to, like I said, we'll work on those exercises through this week, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.